What is good, Apple Bites? We're here at Brooklyn Comic Con, and I've run into another creator who I actually met before. This is Dante from Daburgos Art. And this guy, as you can see, has a wide range of different quality art pieces that he makes. And I was hoping we'd get a quick interview with him. So Dante, sir, would you mind telling us about you and your work?
Sure thing. There you go. So I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. My work is a mixture of everything from handmade plushies. When I got into like sewing, I do some resin sculptures for your tabletop enthusiast. I basically sculpted the originals and I do resin copies after that. Speaking of D&D and tabletop stuff, I made these potion stress balls. And then this side over here is more of a falling back to my traditional stuff, which is traditional artwork. I got prints of video game fan art, cartoon fan art, and then to top it all off, I also have my original card game. I actually made a card game. I designed it. I drew everything. It's like a family-friendly game where you're basically trying to outsmart a bridge troll and take his gold away from him. Of Toads and Trolls, as I stated, you are fighting a supposed evil troll who has stopped you at a bridge that you must pay the fee for. So in the game, you play various cards against the troll. Funny things like the Mermaid Mace or the Mittens of Might, which are just gloves with regular gloves with spikes on them. And you're essentially trying to steal, rescue as much gold as possible from the troll, and whoever has the most at the end wins. And like I said, family friendly, so you can have a tie with you and your kids. It's meant to just be a quick game. You pay for you play for like 10-15 minutes, and then you go right again if you wanted to.
Hey man, that attention span for young kids can be
kind of short. Yeah.
So.
I try to keep that in mind. The rule set is also pretty easy to learn. It's not like a big learning curve, which is what I was aiming for. And that's the one I have now in print, ready to sell. I'm also working on other card games for like more competitive, more complicated games for like older players. But that'll be later on in the future. So yes, I'm kind of all over the place, but if it's meant to be creative, this is what I dip into the most. I just like making creative things.
Are you a big role-playing game advocate?
Well, let me put it this way. My friends got me into role-playing games years ago, and I really just dove right into it, even though I didn't understand a single thing about the books. I just wanted to play a character that was unique. And since then, I've had a real enthusiastic nature about designing games where you could just create whatever you want. Once again, like the resin sculptures here, you paint them however you want, you design them however you want. It's the creative aspect I really love about it. When it comes to playing it, just no one has any time anymore. But when it comes to like designing a character from scratch, designing a concept, I'm all over that.
I mean, designing the whole concept, that's the hard part of any game, isn't it?
Absolutely. When it comes to either a rule set like of Toads and Trolls, like making the rules for that, or in my case, just designing weird characters, like these little demons in a bottle. They're like kind of Japanese oni, stuck inside of a glass resin bottle. So like this was really fun designing, and then I went ahead and colored them red and blue and just whatever came to mind. You have like these pins I made, these metal pins. These metal pins are just monsters I made on the fly. My friend said, hey, you should do some horror stuff, and that was that. I just like pumping out ideas as much as possible.
Do you fancy yourself any particular type of artist, like a sculptor, a graphic designer?
When it comes, I'm definitely more traditional when it comes to drawing, inking. Like all of these were done in marker and then placed into Photoshop to clean up. So I definitely just love traditional art, sculpting work. I am hoping to get into digital sculpting, but that has a learning curve on its own. But hey, you never know what happens in the near future.
Hey, that's great, man. I've seen people doing some pretty incredible stuff with the digital, sculpting stuff.
Oh yeah.
I tried it for a minute. It's not for me, but God bless them if you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing stuff. And like I said, a lot of these are done by hand, which means I make rubber molding. I cast them in resin by hand. But eventually, if I could get into the sculpting and reach a quality level I hope to achieve, 3D printing, wave of the future. and hopefully I'll be able to pump out even more crazy things.
Well, I can't wait to see what crazy avenue you take us on next, man. Big fan of your work, you as a person, and nothing but the best, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for stopping by.
And before we leave, where can people find you? Any shameless plugs you'd like to throw in?
Okay, so once again, my name is Dante of daburgos Art, D-A-Burgos Art, and that's the name across the board. Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt, and I usually try to stream on Twitch and YouTube artwork. Every Sunday at 8 o'clock, I try to squeeze in a few hours of just me painting or sculpting, just to kind of give people a look of like the madness behind what I do. But yeah, once again, daburgos Art, pretty much anywhere online.
You heard him. Man behind the madness. Check him out. Check us out on Bit and Apple TV and Written Writ Wednesdays.